Chris had been unwell for about 3 years, off and on, was part of the mental health in our local area. The devastation, the hopelessness, the helplessness, the feeling like you just can't breathe, a pain like I had never felt before, even though I had lost 3 siblings to suicide before Chris. It was a pain like no other. The devastation around you, the fallout with your other children, horrific, truly horrific. Yeah, wouldn't wish it on anybody. The main support I got was from my children to begin with. They basically kept me going and kept me making sure I took that next breath, because I quite easily could have curled up on the lounge and just died with him. They were basically my reason to go on, and they willed me through each day. And we were given the number for standby from the John Tong Centre, and I called them because I actually, more than for me, I wanted the support for my youngest son, Jaden. He is the one that found Chris, and they were only a year apart in age. I spoke to standby and they came to our house and they were amazing. They talked to Jaden, they talked to each of us separately, they talked to each of us, to all of us as a family. Knew that they were there anytime if we needed them. Just to know that there was that support outside of your family was just amazing. Yeah, so, and I mean, to this day, I still am in touch with standby in one form or another, and not so much for the support, but you don't forget, you just don't ever forget that they were there for you in that horrific time of your life. I could have quite easily curled up on the lounge and died along with Chris, but I had this anger inside me. He should never have died. I took Chris to the hospital on the 3rd of September 2014 when he was at his lowest I had ever seen him, and they sent us home with 10 Valium and told him to have a good night's sleep and he'll be fine tomorrow. And I knew as his mum that was not the case. So we had him on suicide watch for 2 weeks. Didn't even let him go to the toilet on his own. He was that bad. When he did die, like I said, he should never have died. He was 21, male, family history of suicide, known to mental health, had been with them for 3 years. He should never have been allowed to leave that hospital. I wasn't angry at the people that sent us away that night. I was angry at the system. And that anger spurred me on to do something. So I had a hysterectomy the day after Chris's funeral, and so I had about 4 months on my hands at home, grieving, angry. So I put a post on Facebook with a photo of Chris and just saying what had happened, thinking just my family and friends would see it, but 7 million people all over the world saw it. It was shared and shared and shared again, and 7 million people saw it. And I was blown away. People from all over the world were messaging me, telling me about their stories and opening up, and just like I had known them always. And that too is like, my God, I'm not alone, because at that time you tend to think that nobody could possibly understand what you're going through. But these people were all telling me they did know. They were living it, or they had lived it. So then I started a Facebook page called SOS Fast, and there's still to this day 33,000 people on there. And then I thought, with all of these numbers, it would be criminal of me not to do something. Maybe this could make some kind of change. So I started a petition, online petition, with change.org. And I sat and thought long and hard what it was that I wanted from this petition. And I kept going back to the hospital that night that I had taken Chris there. And the feeling of not being heard and not being taken seriously. So I thought our staff need to be trained in this area because they, in my opinion, hadn't been. So I addressed it to the Health Minister and asked for our accident and emergency staff to be trained in looking after suicidal people. I got 67,000 signatures for that, and each and every one of those signatures spurred me on to keep going. In my mind, it was like Chris was saying, "You've got this, Mum. This is what you need to do. This is the next thing you need to do, Mum. You're going in the right direction." So once I got those 67,000 signatures, I went down to my local member, who was Don Brown. He had not long been elected, and I told him what I had done with the petition. He actually printed those 67,000 signatures out for me, and he said he would like for me to meet the Health Minister, Cameron Dick. So about a week later, I think, I found myself in Parliament House, totally out of my comfort zone, meeting with the Health Minister and a lot of other people in, you know, the collared shirts and ties, and he listened to me. I don't know how he understood me because I was sobbing and it was all still so raw and, you know, but he listened to me and he said, "I'll look into it and I'll get back to you." Within, I think, 2 days, I've got a phone call saying they had done their homework and staff got no training in looking after suicidal people, and they felt they could maybe do something about it. And they kept me in the loop the whole way. I met some amazing people, and yeah, so the training is called SRAM ED, and every accident and emergency staff member in Queensland is receiving that training. And I've just heard that the current Health Minister actually wants all Queensland health staff to be trained in it, not just accident emergency, which is amazing because it's gives you the sense that they get it. I mean, none of it can help Chris, but I do have 4 other children, and I have nearly 5 grandchildren, and so many other mums and dads out there I know, and I wouldn't want any of them to have to live through what I've lived through. And I would hate to think that I would have to go back with another one of my children and nothing's changed. So I just took it upon myself to, never imagined that it would come to what it has, but for some reason it has, and yeah, I'm really happy about it. Change is happening. I can guarantee it. I've seen it with my own eyes. It really is happening. So it's not an overnight thing, but it's happening. A lot of people, from my understanding that I have spoken to, said to me right from the get-go, "Why are you bothering? One person can't make a difference." I beg to differ.